5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Hello, my name is Doug Wilson and I'm the president of the Community Foundation of the Eastern Shore, and you're watching the Community Foundation Spotlight and PAC 14. And with me today we have Donna Clark, a person I've known for several years in other capacities, and she is are you the executive director or the president? The executive director of HOPE, right? So we're here today to learn a little bit about HOPE and what we can do to help you, and for you to tell us a little bit about how people can get involved or help or one or another things like that. But I thought the first thing I would ask you, Donna, is to tell us a little bit about yourself, your background, and how you got involved with HOPE.
Well, I've been a nurse in the Salisbury community for many years. One time I worked at PRMC in the intensive care unit, and then
That's where my daughter works.
Now?
She's an ICU nurse, yeah.
Oh, wonderful.
Yeah.
It's a great career.
She loves it.
And then I moved from there to OBGYN, working with a physician in the community. I was his office nurse and assisted him in the operating room and just whatever was needed in the office. It was a small practice. And after several years, I decided to jump off the cliff and go for a grant and reach out to the poor and the homeless in the community. And through a blood pressure screening program at a soup kitchen here in Salisbury on Saturdays, I got addicted to it and realized that there was such a need for somebody to advocate for the people at street level. They don't want to think about their health. They've got to worry about food and roof over their heads and taking care of their children. And I just became a friend. And then through that, I began to guide them to health care and learned a great deal about what's needed to help people like that, and eventually created our own nonprofit, and here I am.
So when was that? When did you actually create HOPE?
2007, we got our nonprofit status.
Good.
But I started working with the people about 1999, 1998.
Wow. What does HOPE stand for?
Help and Outreach Point of Entry.
Hope and outreach for help and outreach
point of entry.
Terrific. So what is HOPE's mission? What are you all about?
We try to be a single point of entry to services in the community. If you ever go to our website, you can find resource guides for guidance for financial assistance, medical assistance, food pantries. It's all listed there. And that website is all one word, helpandoutreach.wordpress.com.
Say that again.
helpandoutreach.wordpress.com.
Good for you. Now the website, is that usually used by the clients, or is that like family members and others that are trying to help?
I'm finding that many churches are using it when they contact me for guidance to help the people that come to them in need.
Yeah.
I just send them to my website, and there's pictures of the people we serve, things that we do. There's talks about our mission statement. It talks about how we came about. But the big part of it is this resource guide.
Do you have an office somewhere, or do you operate out of some place? Where's that?
Right now it is open in the basement of Wycomico Presbyterian Church at 129 Broad Street. And we're open on Monday and Friday, 10 a.m. until 2 p.m.
So that's where people can come to get assistance or direction or help.
Correct.
And also you probably talk with other folks in there as well?
We have a myriad of events, people visiting, things going on.
Great.
I have a wonderful staff of about 14 volunteers, ranging in talent from office manager to greeter.
Wow.
We have a very large room that people wait for services. We help people get the documents necessary to get the state health insurance. Then we help them fill out the application for the state health insurance.
Great.
We provide them an address that they can receive mail. Unfortunately, it's not an address to help them get their ID. It's a P.O. box. You have to have a physical address to get an ID.
What are the types of programs and services and other kinds of activities you're planning or will shortly be doing or currently doing? You know, like, do you have a list of things that you do pretty regularly?
I have one very large project that is about to come to fruition. For years, I have dreamed about a place that people can come to that are homeless or whose home is not adequate to care for them when they've been discharged from the hospital.
Okay.
Think about it. If you've had surgery and you're too well for the hospital, but where are you going to go? You can't go back to your camp. Your wound's going to get infected, or maybe you're living in an abandoned house, or you're living on somebody's couch and it's a dirty house. I've dreamt about a place for someone to come to that they can finish their rehabilitation and get strong and get healthy, and then go back, hopefully not back to where they were, because we'll have had time to work on the issues that created their homelessness, and then we can guide them to a better life.
Wow. Well, I just want to remind our viewers that we're with Donna Clark today. She's the Executive Director of Hope, and you're watching the Community Foundation Spotlight here on PAC 14. I'm Doug Wilson, your host, who also just happens to be the President of the Community Foundation. Tell me, do you serve, what do you serve, just Wicomico, or?
No, 3 counties, Wicomico, Worcester, and Somerset.
Okay, and how many homeless are there?
My. There's about to be a census done in January. The last census revealed only about 480, maybe 500. But you have to realize these census are done in one 24-hour period, no matter what the weather, and you can only count the people you have contact with that day.
Right.
And every time we do the census, it seems like they disappear. And many people don't recognize themselves as homeless. If you're living on your friend's couch and at risk for being kicked out in any 24-hour period, that's considered being homeless. And so they don't step up and say, here I am.
Right, because they're living in a friend's home or
right, they have a roof
relative's home
over their head.
Right.
But that is still considered homeless.
Wow.
And, you know, people living with nothing but food stamp income and providing their food stamps as payment for rent for a room. They don't consider themselves homeless.
Wow.
But in my years of doing this, I would guesstimate that we've probably got close to 900, maybe 1,000 scattered around.
Truly homeless.
Truly homeless.
Yeah. Wow.
And I've got to say, people, as we talk about homeless people, those that are living in homes and have made themselves, have created their own business, have power in their minds that they've got control, they don't have a heart for the homeless. But the majority of the homeless are homeless because of lack of education, mental health issues, and just the inability to understand how to make decisions.
I see. So do you see the type of person that's homeless now changing or has changed from before because of the recession and all kinds? I imagine more people are out of work, their whole families are homeless.
Many people I see right now are having to make a decision between paying rent and paying car payments, gas, and car insurance, and keeping their job.
Right.
If they've got their job and they can't afford that house, they're going to give up that house, that apartment, and live in their car.
Okay.
And yes, children are involved in that too. The Board of Education can quote you figures on how many homeless children they have in the schools.
Do these homeless individuals, can you characterize for me what, are they facing significant health issues? Are they suffering from mental problems or addictions of one kind? I mean, what's the typical profile of a homeless person?
Well, national standards say that there's about 85% of homeless people have mental health issues.
Ooh.
I would bump that up to about 95.
You would?
And that can range anything from depression to paranoid schizophrenia.
Wow.
Those that you see living in camps, the scruffy ones that are panhandling, by the way, please don't give them money. Give them gift certificates for food, give them blankets. Don't give them money. It just enables them to continue in their self-treatment of their addictions.
I understand.
And they self-treat their mental health issues with alcohol or drugs. And unfortunately, there's a younger population now that's living out in the woods, the young men, who seem to think they can control things. And they're the ones that are turning towards the heroin, which is so plentiful right now. Cheap and plentiful. And that has complicated our work in the woods. I have outreach workers that go to the camps.
Right, to help them. Are there sufficient shelters, or where do these people go?
Not sufficient shelters. We have shelters, one in each county, actually two in Worcester County, that are full constantly. We have the Christian shelter here in town, Samaritan shelter down in Pocomoke,
Yes.
Diaconia, and we have the Wood Home in Somerset.
Right. Wow.
And it's limited. Services are limited. Now in January, the Cold Weather Shelter, Community Emergency Shelter Project will begin the first weekend in January, and that is the local churches opening their doors for a week at a time for homeless men to be sheltered.
Right. Good. I tell you, what would we do without the churches?
They're the ones that are stepping up to the plate and,
Yeah.
and trying to make a difference.
Well, that's fabulous. Well, what are Hope's dreams for the future?
End homelessness.
And homelessness. Yeah, wouldn't
Boy,
that be great?
I'd love to see that in my lifetime. I'd like to see more facilities for the homeless. And that creates problems. The government feels that if we increase our services, we're going to increase our population because people are going to come in. But I've worked this so many years, I can tell you they come and they go.
Right.
And they come and they go due to availability of work. You know, cold weather brings you closer to the hub of the Eastern Shore where there are some services. My hope and dream, I'd like to see a great large building available for education, lots of volunteers to mentor those that we bring up out of the mud and begin to move ahead into society. They've got to be mentored. They don't know how to make the proper decisions with money, with choices in their lives. They've got to have someone to lean on.
Right.
And the churches are stepping up to that. I'd like to see a place to shelter them, educate them, heal them, and help them grow to be productive members of our society.
So you'd even provide maybe some minimal health care services there?
I'm working on that.
You're working on that? I figured as much. Well, how can individuals help? How can people get involved if they have an interest in this area? Can they contact you or what?
You can certainly contact me. I recommend contacting any established agency that serves the homeless to volunteer your time.
Okay.
Mentors are desperately needed. People that have the patience to work with those that just don't know how to make the right decisions.
Right.
Financial assistance, of course, always helps, but make sure you give your money to an established organization that's proven that they know how to handle money. And talk to your government officials and say, what about all these vacant buildings in this town? Why can't we turn this into something that will open up and help people step up and come back into our circle of life in this town?
Now, you're a 501c3 not-for-profit. How do you support your activities and programs and what it is you do?
Right now, grant money.
Grant money, good.
In fact, I was a little late getting here today because I was trying to spiff up that grant before I turned it in. Grant money and donations from the community. The churches have been so supportive of our agency.
Great.
Wycomico Presbyterian supports us completely with free office space, no utilities required, donations from the church, and other churches in the community support us too.
What I'd like you to do, Donna, is just tell people, maybe we could put a number up or an address up after, or for people at the show when this airs, to tell them if they were interested in supporting you that they can make a donation directly to you.
Yes.
And where would they do that?
You can send us a donation at Hope Incorporated, P.O. Box 5113, Salisbury, Maryland 21802. Or you can directly deposit your money in our name at the Bank of Willards, any branch office, and they will direct it to our account, Farmers Bank of Willards.
Terrific. One more question. Where do you see the future of the homelessness in our area going? Is it going to get worse? Hopefully better? About the same? What do you think?
We'll see what happens with the fiscal cliff. Ouch.
Won't we all?
Yeah. But truly, I'm an optimist. And I believe that this community will step up. If we work together, if we collaborate, if we all don't try to do, I'm going to do this soup kitchen over here and you do yours over there. What we need is a collaborative effort of our community to draw together, put it together, and open a space to help people in the various phases of homelessness. I do believe that it's going to get a whole lot worse for the people that don't have the education and don't have the understanding of making good choices in their lives. And what we need is, and Salisbury is a wonderful community that opens up to people. And I do believe that I think our community will respond to the need as it comes.
Great. Well, thanks very much, Donna, for
Thank you,
being
Doug.
here on the Community Foundation Spotlight. And just to all of our viewers, this is a huge issue for our area, the homeless. And Donna is doing a great job taking care of these folks and mentoring them and managing them and getting them into health care, and they need your help. So if you can find your way clear during this holiday season of giving, consider hope. Thank you very, very much for watching Community Spotlight. I'm Doug Wilson, and hope to see you all again soon.
Would you like to see your community organization or nonprofit group featured on PAC 14? To get started, contact us at 410-677-5014 or visit our website at www.pac14.org. PAC 14 is a great way to connect with your community.